karma games, because she's kind of like Lee Sin, and that means that every single one of her abilities is actually two abilities that actually change name when you use mantra on them. For instance, you're going to see her use Inner Flame, that's her Q, sends out a skill shot nuke. When you mantra that, it turns into Soul Flare. So you're going to have to keep an eye on that. But of course, we'll probably be just saying QWE, so you guys get the idea. Shield, Tether, Q, all very well understood names. Now, when you do mantra the Inner Flame and it becomes Soul Flare, not only does it give you a ton of extra ability power on it, it also has that second activation, which, given Ambition's passive strut, is going to be really effective, because normally Ambition's going to be like incredibly fast, but when he takes combat damage, he not only loses the movement speed, but he's going to be a lot slower and might actually be very susceptible to taking both parts of that Soul Flare damage.
Yeah, 50% slow while he's inside of it. Very much difficult to get out of, especially if you're getting hit dead center on it. If you're not, if you're on that outer ring, you can typically walk on out, but not so much if you're getting these direct hits like Hyuna is already doing. As you can see, some nice harass coming out. He's still floating around 50% HP. Tries to go in and get aggressive onto Hyuna, but she's just firing back with these Inner Flames and trying to keep him as much at range as possible.
What I want to see is Ambition use the impure shots from Misfortune when Baby Hyuna tries to use a health potion, so that the grievous wounds actually decrease the effectiveness of the health potion and limit her sustain in lane. And I can see that actually being a lot more effective if she was running like a crystalline flask. So there's a lot more overall healing going on, but she's not getting down in CS. She's CSing relatively well underneath her turret, and she should actually be able to hit a majority of this CS. Just trying to prep it out there so that she can CS it as well as possible.
Yeah, no, just 18 to 19, sticking really close to each other.
And versus an AD carry as a spellcaster, it's actually pretty significant to note, just because traditionally you'd give the AD carry player a little bit more of an advantage.
Yeah, as we can see, the tether coming out does lock down Ambition.
And it was actually a mantra tether, which turned
the renewal.
From Focus Resolve into Renewal. If you get both parts of the Renewal tether, you get 40% of your missing HP back. That amount of sustain is huge. And so the only thing that's going to really prevent Hyuna from going in for that huge sustain buff, at least on Misfortune, who is not running Flash, is going to be taking too much damage. And as long as she's able to get a trip back to base to buy up enough defenses, she should be able to out-sustain Ambition in this lane.
Yeah, as we can see, both of them do have pretty effective means of getting back to lane. Ambition, of course, does have the teleport, but he also has the strut. Oh, the tether's actually out now, but Hyuna very low on mana, now HP. Ambition also running low. We might see them back. And again, they were playing with the recall earlier. Did not opt to do it. As we can see now, Hyuna really relying on the Inspires from her shield. Just took a lot of his downhill damage. Ouch, yeah. Huge chunk being taken off right there. That's going to be the back as soon as this wave's cleared out from the turret.
Yeah, and wisely enough, Baby Hyuna just mantraed her Soul Flare so that she could clear out the wave, head back to base. But a very big difference between both players. Ambition running the very traditional teleport heal for AD carries to keep them very safe, whereas Baby Hyuna is going for an incredibly aggressive Exhaust Ignite. This is the first Exhaust Ignite of the Solo King, because most players recognize when you telegraph your all-in that much, it means that your opponent tends to just play very, very safe and not really give you the opportunity to go for that. However, with Triple Doran's Blades versus Triple Doran's Rings, it'll actually be pretty interesting to see whether or not Baby Hyuna can have the all-in presence that she's looking for.
Yeah, well, she's already trying to lay down the damage, but is just receiving so much right back from Ambition. Both now taken down to about 50% HP. The pots are, in fact, rolling. It's going to help just get them back up for the next trade. As we can see, Ambition did hit 6. It does have bullet time. Won't be too surprised if we see that come out once the next wave joins the lane. Hyuna, of course, not gaining too much outside of being able to spec a little bit more into her mantra. It's going to help out with the cooldowns on that. There's the bullet time coming out. Inspires to get out of the way. Takes just a little bit of damage. Could have been better. Could have been worse. But for the most part, Hyuna in a pretty decent spot right now. But starting to fall behind in CS compared to how we were earlier.
Yeah, over 10 CS down. Of course, if you guys didn't know about the victory conditions, the way that you win a 1v1 is either you kill the enemy champion, you kill the enemy turret, or you kill a lot of the enemy minions. Specifically, 100 minions is the score that you need to reach, but you also need to make sure that you are far enough ahead. Now, oh, an exhaust there used onto Ambition. I don't agree with the exhaust. You should really use the exhaust when he's inside the Mantrid Soul Flare so that he can't run back out. And now, oh, might be a death here. Turns around, gets the last second shield.
Yeah, on the run, really good shield, trying to save her life, but has to be careful of a double up. Ooh,
those double ups are so scary.
Yeah, she's just holding on to the Inspire to
Ambition's gonna kill her with a double up. He's just gonna walk forward and, okay, she did shield that one, but what is she doing in lane? Like, there's...
Yeah, this is really insanely aggressive play coming out.
Ambition's just gonna dive her here. Now, she might mantra a tether and then try to kill him underneath the turret here. Okay, she's gonna heal herself up off the tether, so both sides of that tether, really giving her a ton of HP back.
Yeah, okay, so well played by Hyuna, really just getting me on the edge of my seat and just playing with my nerves here.
That was actually pretty nerve-wracking. Like, it takes a lot of guts to play. Not only you're versus Ambition. This is a guy that's a good enough mid laner to be second in champions this season, and they don't call it champions for no reason. Also doing a decent job at CSing underneath that turret. Currently 15 CS behind, which is gonna mean that she's gonna lose at 100 CS mark, but does mean that she's at least keeping enough gold so that maybe she'll get an opportunity to go back to base, but most likely this is about all it's gonna be. And some reduced healing, and oh, the bullet time might just pick up the kill. It does.
Yeah, wow.
Channeled right through the minion wave, and even after that tether, you can see immediately Impure Shots cutting the healing off of both halves. Actually, I think it was only off of the second half of that Mantrid renewal, and unable to escape that bullet time. It's game number 2 going to Ambition.